Customer invoice. When a customer purchases from you, you process an invoice. An invoice is a document of sale. If you first produce a code for the customer, you can link the code into the invoice and print it without redoing any data entry. If not, you can enter invoice from the beginning. Add a new invoice. Customers, transactions, customer tax invoices. If you are a tax registered company, it will show as customer tax invoices. Else, it will show as customer invoice. Click on Add a Tax Invoice button to create a new customer invoice. Select the customer. If the customer has pending quotations or sales orders, system will ask to invoice those quotations or sales orders. If you want to convert pending quotations or sales orders, select the document. If not, enter new invoice. Customer outstanding will display in the balance. Document number is invoice number. This will generate automatically from the system. You can set document numbers from documents and statements. Company, change company settings, documents and statements, document numbers. You can set customer invoice number under new document number. After set the number from next invoice, system will generate the invoice number. This will discuss in detail under Document and Statements Company Module video. Customer ref. If your customer sent a purchase order or any document for purchasing, you can enter that document reference number. Customer ref is optional. If you want, you can keep it blank. From quote or sales order. You can link quote or sales order if available. Layout. This is invoice print document. If you want, you can change the default invoice layout. Sales rep. You can select the sales rep or system will display default sales rep. Date is invoice generate date. Due date is payment due date for this invoice. If you are giving credit period to this customer, you can select the due date as future date. Discount. If you are giving discount, you can enter discount percentage. This discount percentage applies for all items in the invoice. If you want to give different discount rates for different items, use line discount percentage or discount amount. Discount is optional. Therefore, if you are not giving discount, keep it 0. Use inclusive amounts. If you are a tax registered company, you need to apply taxes in the invoice. If you tick on Use inclusive amounts, price will display with taxes. If you untick, price will display without taxes. Type. If you select item, you can select selling items. If you select account, you can select GL account. If you select time, you can select time. This is an add-on module. This will discuss in detail under time tracking. If you select bundle, you can select bundle items. Item bundle allows you to group multiple items into a single code. When you invoice, you enter the item type bundle and the bundle code. The system brings each individual item into the invoice. We will discuss item bundles in detail under Item Bundles item module. Select the item. Enter quantity. System will calculate total. If you need to assign a project, you can select the project. You can create projects from Invoice screen or go to Company Analysis Code. From Analysis Codes screen, you can create projects, branch, cost centers, etc. Print invoice. You can print the invoice by clicking Print Preview button. Email invoice. You can directly email your invoice to the customer by clicking Email button. If you enter customer email address when creating customer, email address will display, else you can enter the customer email address. Invoice attached as PDF document. Email body will display name, amount user, etc. If you want to change email message, go to Company, change company settings, email signatures, add email signature. Create email signatures described in detail under Email Signature Company Module video. After process the invoice, your customer can view their invoice on the customer zone. If you want to save the invoice without print or email, click Save button. If you click Save and New, system will save the invoice and open new window for Enter New Invoice. Note: after process the invoice, you cannot delete the invoice. To correct the invoice, you need to enter a customer credit note. Additional options. You can email or print invoice by clicking Send button. Options. By clicking View Invoice GP, you can view the gross profit of the invoice. Clicking Invoice History, you can view the invoice history such as created or any modification for the invoice. Clicking Show User Defined Fields, you can add additional fields to the invoice. Create User Defined Fields. Go to Company, change company settings, User Defined Fields, Documents and Transactions. User-defined fields described in detail under User-defined fields company module video. You can attach documents related to this invoice by clicking Document Attachments. You can attach maximum of 5 attachments. Each attachment should not exceed 2 MB. You can add document note by clicking Document Notes. If you add a document note, a notification will come to your dashboard. Anticipated payments. You can add a customer anticipated payment date. If you add an anticipated date, a notification will come to your dashboard on that date. Create recurring invoice. If you create a recurring invoice, you can schedule the invoice on regular frequency. If you set a recurring invoice, system will automatically generate the invoice and email to the customer. Recurring invoice discussed in detail under Customer Recurring Invoice Customers module video. Create credit note. If you want to reverse a customer invoice, you can create credit note without re-entering data. Credit note and re-invoice. Create a credit note for a document and re-invoice. Create receipt. You can enter a receipt to a particular invoice from the invoice screen. Copy invoice. Copy the details on a document and paste it onto a new document. You can customize your invoice list by clicking Customize Grid button. You can add these columns by ticking and remove by unticking. You can export the list by clicking CSV button. You can sort the order of the list by clicking each column heading ascending or descending. You can sort by multiple columns by clicking multiple column sorting button. You can filter the list from following headings. You can modify the invoice later if you are authorized to edit customer invoice. There are 4 status: unpaid, overdue, partially paid and paid. Unpaid is customer not paid for the invoice but within the credit period. Overdue is customer not paid for the invoice and exceed the credit period. Partially paid is customer paid only part amount of the invoice. Paid is customer paid for the invoice. From actions, you can preview, print, email, create receipt, create credit note, copy invoice, print delivery note without opening the invoice. Invoice reports. You can generate customer invoice report from report section or from quick reports.